so we get this recording. And let me just take a moment to welcome everybody to the NTI Meeting Leader Call. Today is February 5th, 2019. Can you believe it's February already? I mean, heaven's sakes, we've already been through 1 month of 2019, and it's crazy to me how fast time is going. But welcome to the call. We've got about 18 slides starting now. We'll buzz through these. A little etiquette just for everybody to remember. Please mute your phone line on your end. In addition, I've muted it on my end, but please also try to mute it on your end so that we just get everybody muted. If you don't know if you're muted or if you're unmuted, in fact, I think, Brian, for some reason, it may not have muted your line for some reason. I'm not sure why exactly, but let's see if I can mute you there. There you go. I think we got you muted, Brian. But anyway, so I think everybody is muted. But if you're not, or if you're not sure, if you wouldn't mind, please go ahead and hit that mute button on your phone. And if, again, I always say this on each and every call, but if you don't know if you're muted or not, please don't eat, use the bathroom, yell at the children, answer the door, answer another call, or talk bad about today's call host. That's right. Do that behind his back. Just kidding. So glad you are all here. All right. I want to welcome all the new meeting leaders that we have joining us today around the country. So glad to have anyone that is new on the line. We use GoToMeeting, as all of you may or may not know, but we use GoToMeeting for our calls. And it doesn't always show me who calls in. It shows me everybody who's attending online, but it doesn't really show me who is calling in unless I go into their back end. So if you're on the call today and you're brand new, we're glad to have you. So happy that you have joined us as meeting leaders here at Networking Today International. A quick reminder about servant leadership. I love the idea of servant leadership. I do believe in the philosophy and set of practices that enriches the lives of individuals, builds better organizations, and ultimately creates a more just and caring world. I like to call it the world of networking today, the world of NTI, the world of your meeting, and I think, I could be wrong here, but I think all of us get the idea of the philosophy of it. So each and every time we have a meeting leader call, I talk about sets of practices, things that you can put in practice in your life and in your meeting that can really, really help you. So on the last call, we talked about whether or not we focused in on the word able. Do your members believe you are able? Do they believe you are qualified to lead? Do they believe you have the skill to lead? And we talked about that in depth on the last call. If you weren't on the last call, I hope that you went to the Meeting Leader Resources page and took a listen, because it was really, really good. That will be removed today, and today's call will be put up there for the next 2 weeks for your listening or viewing enjoyment. Again, you can watch the video of this PowerPoint, or you can just listen to the MP3 audio only. Then that's available to you as well. But today, the word is helpful. 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 Wow, what a word. Helpful. Do your members see you as a giving person or someone they can turn to for assistance? This is an interesting one to me, because we're all extremely busy professionals, at least most of us. If you're a meeting leader, you have the kind of personality that gets out there and leads, getting things done. You've got goals that you're usually speaking, you're not content or satisfied with the status quo. I heard a pastor one time say that people ask him all the time, can't he just leave well enough alone? Think about that. Can't he just leave well enough alone? And he said, no, I can't. I cannot leave well enough alone. Nothing was ever well enough for him. He always was working to take it to the next level. His church worship and his outreach to the world and his world evangelism and his bus ministry and his choir ministry and his, all these other ministries that we had at that church. And that always stuck with me. that he couldn't leave well enough alone. You, as a meeting leader, are probably cut from that same mold. You're the kind of person that you're like, I cannot leave well enough alone. I'm driven to take my business to the next level, my meeting to the next level. But can I please challenge you today to be helpful, to make sure that your members know that you are a giver. You're a giving person. They can turn to you for assistance. They can come to you when they're not getting leads, when they're not getting referrals, and that you can coach them a little bit on what it means to get referrals and how they can improve their networking skills. I had one particular member come to me recently who's facing divorce, and the member is struggling to keep their business afloat and needing to find a part-time job. And, you know, all they really wanted was a listening ear. And they perceive the meeting leader as the one with credibility, as the one with influence, as the one with their crap together, so to speak. You are viewed as that person by most of your members, whether you know it or not. And so when they come to you, they look to you almost like a counselor. Now, look, I know you don't get paid to sit down and counsel people. That's not your job description. But if your members can't come to you and build relationships, if they can't come to you and feel like you are there to help them, and that you, not just the members in your group that are there to build relationships, but you individually. And then if you can't be helpful to them in their time of need, what kind of relationship is that? Would you go to your best friend, and if your best friend needed you because they were going through a divorce, or they were losing their job, or they were doing something, you know, whatever it was, you know, they were having a spiritual crisis, they were having some sort of crisis in their life, and your bestie came to you and was pouring out their soul to you, would you be like, I don't really have time, I'm not getting paid for this, I gotta go? You know, you would take a moment, you would help your friend. If not then, or not during business hours, you would say, hey, you know what, let's grab a beer later, let's go for a cup of coffee, let's go for lunch, let's go and talk about what's going on in your world. You can do that with your members. I just want to challenge everybody today to be helpful and to be received as helpful. I think it will be a blessing, and I think it will really transform your meeting. So try to do that, please. All right. The next thing, I just want to remind everybody about the new meeting incentive program. This is going very, very, very well. We are going to have a contest coming up on launching new meetings, but listen, it is your opportunity to make some cash. We want to share the wealth. The new member incentive program, by the way, I hope you guys are announcing this at each and every one of your meetings. But Networking Today, and some of you on today's call may have received your Visa gift card, or maybe you haven't, but we sent them out over a week ago, well over a week ago now, almost 2 weeks ago actually, through Visa, through the Visa gift card program. And many of your members and or you have received these Visa gift cards. We're in the business of giving back. That's what we do here. What other global business networking organization rewards with cash for new meetings and new members and contests and different things that we do? I could be wrong. We're one of the only ones. I'm not saying that we are the only one. There no doubt is one out there in the world that I don't know about. But, you know, we're one of the only that does it if there is another one. So capitalize on it. We want to start and begin sending out bigger checks than ever this year. Who do you know? Who in your organization can you tell, or can you promote within your group to get out there and get the word out there and help all of us benefit at Networking Today by the growth that we can experience? Some of you have one or two. Think about it. Over in Charlotte, North Carolina, we have one really fantastic meeting right now. We could easily have 20 to 25 meetings all around Charlotte, North Carolina, easily. People know other people. We need to leverage that and help our members realize that they can be compensated and rewarded for sharing Networking Today, both on a member level and a meeting level. Okay, now I want to talk to you guys real quick about meeting leader support. And then I've asked Mark Williams to share something on today's call. The Lord willing and the creek don't rise, as they say. He made it to the call with no problems. But I'll unmute him in just a moment. We'll deal with that in just a second. I want to talk to you guys about this real quick, though, because we've added something that many of you don't know exists. And what I'm going to do is, if you're online, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. If you are not online, I'll try to describe it as I go through it. Many of you know there's a meeting leader support hotline, 865-245-9397. Many of you know you can email support@networkingtodayintl.com. Many of you, some of you, I should say, have also experienced our growing pains, right? We're training, working out the details and trying to figure out who's on first, what's on second, and I don't know who's on third. You know, we're trying to get all the ducks lined up and get that running into a smooth process. If you've emailed or called and not gotten a response, we apologize. We're working on it, and we will get to you. If we have not gotten to you in a timely fashion, you think maybe it got, slipped through the cracks or we forgot about you, entirely, all you got to do is send a new email, give a new call, and we will make sure to do our best to get on it. But here's what I want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to exit out of this screen right here, and I'm going over to a different screen real quick. All right, give me just a second here. I'm going to go over to Firefox. Now, I'm on a new browser. Those of you that are watching the screen, I've changed browsers. I'm going to try to make it larger here for us. And up here at the top of our website in the URL bar, I am going to put networkingtodayintl.com/meeting leader resources. Okay. Now, many of you are very familiar with the meeting leader resources page and, of course, the password, which we only want meeting leaders to have this, please. This is not something we're asking everybody to, share out here in the whole entire world or anything. But it's, well, if I could type here today, NTRESOURS, there we go. It's NT Resources with an exclamation point at the end. And of course, the N, the T, and the R are capitalized. But NT Resources, exclamation point, gets you to the meeting leader resources page. We've added a new button. So right here towards the top, you have meeting leader support hotline phone number. And then underneath that, you've got the email link there that you can copy and paste. But right underneath that, there's a submit support request button that we've added. Now, what you can do is you can click on this button and it will open up a new window for you. And from here, you can put your meeting leader name in the box, your meeting location in the box, and the support request. So if I drop down the support request here, it says literature order, update meeting location, update meeting leader, meeting training. So if you need some sort of training about your meeting, some people don't know how to schedule a visitor's day. Some people don't know how to schedule a happy hour or how to organize a happy hour. We can help. All you have to do is click on that. Assistance in growing your meeting, ideas, and perhaps you need to hear the cool kid story once again that I share and have shared so many times on this call that many of you are sick and tired of hearing the cool kid. But the cool kid idea works if you use it, okay? But anyway, but let's say that you need that. Assistance with technology. Maybe you need help with Facebook, Fanzuma, Membership Works, PowerPoint, your Google Calendar, your web page. I don't know what it would be. The mobile app. Something isn't right in the mobile app. We can help you with technology or even member assistance. There might be some member that needs, they can't log in. They've lost their password, and simply clicking forgot my password perhaps isn't working for them, or who knows what in the world of technology, different servers, different web browsers, different this or that. None of that is really material whatsoever. The point is it's not working. If it isn't working for the member or they need help adjusting the name of their company, maybe you've got a member that has gotten married and has chosen to change their last name, okay, or a phone number, an email update, whatever it might be. We are here to help. So all you have to do, let's say if you're going to order literature, you can click that box there, and another series pops up, says, do you need guest cards? the Be Our Guest cards, visitor host cards, or both. And then you got to put the little math equation in here to show that you're not a robot or whatever, trying to hack into the site. And then you hit submit, and that immediately sends an email to support@networkingtodayintl.com. And support will then help you. Many of you don't even know that option exists right there. But really, virtually anything that you need help with, I think we've covered it all. But if we haven't, we can add to it. All you got to do is send me an email or text or whatever. We'll get it added, no problem. But we've tried to cover every aspect of your meeting so that if you need help, all you have to do is submit a request right here, and we can take care of it for you. You don't even have to physically talk to somebody. Now, the other day, somebody said, Rich, I just would like to hear somebody's voice. I don't want to just submit it, via computer. I want to hear somebody's voice. No problem. Just schedule an appointment. Tell us what it is that you need help with, or send an email or call and leave a voicemail. Say, I just need to hear someone's voice. We are here for you. We're here to hold your hand. But what we're trying to raise, what we're trying to train, what we're trying to develop is sustainable, individually responsible meeting leaders, right? So that, you don't need us to call you each week. We don't have to submit a Palms report or any kind of attendance report or anything like that. We just want you to have a wonderful meeting, a great time leading your meeting, and build relationships and get referrals, right? That's the name of the game. So we don't want all the cumbersome reporting and everything else that goes in with some of the other networking organizations that are out there. We're trying to make it easy. So, if you don't need us and you're silent out there and, we just don't want you to blame us if we're not helping you. It's only because we don't know. We are here to help you 100%. Okay, maybe 99%. Okay, for those of you that are splitting hairs, possibly 99%. But I just wanted to share the new resources that we have out there for you. There are things out there that you can take advantage of in the Meeting Leader Resources page, on the Meeting Leader Resources page, that are images or whatever. Many of you have asked for updated images for marketing. That's okay too. Just let us know what you need. Our graphic design department will work hard to get it for you and send it over. If it doesn't meet your expectations, all we have to do is say, hey, would you change this, that, or the other, and we'll get it updated. No problem. Easy peasy. Chicken squeezy, I think is what they say. Anyway, don't forget about the Visitor Day contest. You still have time, believe it or not. Get a Visitor Day going, man. What are you waiting on? If you've been waiting, I've been announcing it since, December. Let's get a Visitor Day happening for you real quick. Now, I know many of you have had weather-related issues. So I'm contemplating, I'm toying with the idea of extending the Visitor Day contest until the next Friday. How many of you would think that's a great idea? You can send me a text message, 865-679-0340, and you can let me know if you think we should do that. But just know I am thinking about that because so many of you, some of you were closed even for 2 weeks. So you had 2 weeks during Christmas and New Year's, and then another 2 weeks for snow and weather-related closings. And I know that, and so I want to, give everybody a fair chance to do their contest. But, let's just remember, we're giving away over $2,000. But I want to remind, especially some of the newer people on the call today, that the meeting location with the most first-time visitors registered in the NTI Visitor Follow-Up System. You say, Rich, I don't know what the Visitor Follow-Up System is. Well, go to the Meeting Leader Resources page, click the button, I need help with technology. Tell us what technology you need help with. It just may be the NTI Visitor Follow-Up System, and we're here to help you with that. But the most first-time visitors registered in the NTI Visitor Follow-Up System, the meeting location will win $500 to celebrate the victory with everybody in your meeting. The NTI member with the most new members during the contest period will win $500. The NTI member who brings the most first-time visitors the day of your event will win $500. The NTI meeting leader with the highest percentage membership growth during the contest period will win $500. We're interested in giving away money. Of course, I do want you guys to obviously realize that will be adjusted down if we don't hit 100 members. Rule number one of the contest is we need 100 new members total to qualify. prize money will be reduced proportionally if less than 100 members. Many of you would love to have an update on that. I really should send that out via FanZoom, and I will get that to let you know where we're at since January the 7th. But it'll be reduced proportionally. We still want to give money away. We just can't give away, as much if we don't get all 100 members. Number 2, the contest is only applicable to active meeting locations on or before January 1st. So if you have a brand new meeting, January 1st or after here in 2019, anytime in 2019 that it kicked off, you didn't make it in for this particular contest. We'll get you in for the next one. Don't worry about it. There's lots of contests. Number 3, new members have until February 16th to join. So if you had people come to your meeting, they visited your meeting, work hard to get them to join so that you can qualify. Okay, but they only have until the 16th to join. New members must be active on March 1st to qualify as a new member. So if somebody joined, say, January the 20th and did not renew February the 20th, then, they don't count. Okay, they have to be active on March the 1st. All right. I'm sure some of you have questions about that. Make sure to use the NTI visitor follow-up system. When to enter your visitors. Some of you don't know this, but FanZuma, the tool we use for the NTI visitor follow-up system, immediately sends a text and an email to all of your visitors at the point of sign-up. So don't send it like at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. Don't enter your visitors at 6 a.m. when you're the early bird at work and you're in there getting caught up. Make sure you're only entering people like between 8:30 a.m. and maybe 8 o'clock. Just be careful about that. Okay, people don't want to get bombarded with texts or marketing emails or texts after normal business hours. There's still plenty of time. I want to remind you, get on it. You can do it. Now, I'm going to let me see if Mark. Let's see here, Mark. I am not able to unmute your line only. So I'm going to unmute everybody and take the risk of the feedback that we may or may not have. Mark Williams, are you on the call, sir?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Right on, brother. I can hear you now. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a minute just to set the stage. Again, please make sure you're muted. Mute your phone line so we keep the feedback down, because I've had to unmute everybody to get Mark on here today. But we're talking about meeting leader autonomy, and it has come to my attention over, the last several months. People have said, Rich, I don't want to use your slides. They're so boring. Rich, why do I have to go through the same slides each and every week? Look, I've never one time asked you guys to do that. I was on the phone with Mark the other day, and Mark has, by the way, I told Mark the other day, Mark is the ideal person, meeting leader, that represents the fine line between rogue and autonomous. Okay, we do not want you guys going rogue. We don't give anybody liberty to go out and completely do your own thing. But Mark has shown some individuality and some uniqueness to his meeting. So I asked Mark to come on and talk about the cool things that he's doing. And maybe, Mark, you'd also talk about how you've been careful, just so people hear you say that as well, to maintain the NTI brand. Would you take a minute and tell us some of the cool things you're doing at your meeting?
Well, what we've done is we've taken Rich's model and we've started our own groups. So we've totally gone rogue with it. I don't know if I talked to you about
click.
It's a great opportunity for you to start your own type of networking group. So seriously, seriously, it's not. It's a great system. I want to encourage everybody to utilize all of these tools and resources, most of which, honestly, I don't know about. I've been doing this about nearly 2 years, and we've started just like everybody else with about 5 to 10 people, and every week we have about 30 people show up. The key, I believe, is to blend the opportunity for notoriety with a large networking organization like Networking Today, and then customize it organically with your own personality, your own fun. We make sure we have fun every week. I think that what's really important is location is huge. And then once you have a really good location that wants you there, it's important to leverage their hosting membership so that they understand that they are a member, and then get some giveaways, get some fun going on. We have our meeting at something. Yep.
Hey, Mark, I want to interrupt
Yep.
because you have had issues with your meeting location. I don't want to linger on today's call. I've only asked you to take 10 minutes, but can you take 30 seconds and say, here was the challenge we were having at this meeting location, and here's how we found our new one and what makes it such a good vibe. Would you do that very quickly?
It's awesome. I mean, my personality type is very love guitar and music, and there's a local shop here called the Classic Rock Coffee Shop in Springfield, Missouri. And I started at a place called Farmer's Gastro Pub, which is also a really nice location, but small. The challenge came when we grew out of Farmer's Gastro Pub. We went to a little place called Big Whiskey's. They had a really nice meeting room. However, they wanted to give us a lot of free stuff, and they have a standard, I believe, and they were compromising their standard because we weren't unable to buy things because they were a restaurant that opened up at 11. If you have a morning group, be sure and figure out a way to buy things. We are spending a lot of money with Classic Rock Coffee, and they are supporting us. We give free waffles away all the time. We have a networking newcomers is what we call it, which is a visitors day every month. So we try to center it around a holiday. Like next week is our networking newcomers on the 12th. We've got a really cool thing that we call the 360, which is kind of like what I call a way to expand the spotlight. The spotlight segment, as you know, is like 20 minutes, which is really a great feature for our members, but it can, depending on your speaker, it can go long. So I carved out 5 or 6 minutes out of that, called it 360, which is 360 seconds. And that person actually gets like 6 minutes right after all the business briefs to lead into the break. And what's really cool about it is a lot of times they'll bring inventory. Like next week at the Networking Newcomers meeting, we've got a florist. And I told everybody to bring cash. So she's going to sell flowers, Valentine's Day, 2 days before Valentine's Day. And she gets the opportunity to say, hey, Valentine's Day is in 2 days. This is what we're doing. So it's a really cool way to expand your spotlight offerings, especially once you get 20, 25 members. Now you've got to schedule all those members every single week. That coveted spotlight begins to be like, holy cow, how am I going to make sure that all my members get the value of this networking organization if I don't kind of expand it? So we expanded it. It works really, really well. Everybody seems to really enjoy it. So we do the 360 every week. We also customize a lot of the slides. Keep in mind, the brand is always there. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The NT logo is all over everything. The colors are over everything. I put big pictures of the spotlight leaders on there. I customize the slides so that they are unique to Classic Rock Coffee and show their brand as well. God, Mark, that sounds like a lot of work. Literally, I do it every single morning before the meeting. I'm a last-minute kind of guy, which is just my personality, unfortunately. I would rather do it sooner. All of these resources that you guys have are incredible. Man, I started this little thing when it just started that we didn't have hardly any of those meeting resources. They are great tools. Utilize what you want. Don't, but make it yours, and I would just say to encourage everybody, I would say the most important thing about networking today is having that relationship building mechanism. And I'll tell you a quick story as soon as I finish this that you're really going to like. That relationship building mechanism that says you're fun. I mean, whoever built a relationship around a ho-hummer? I call my dad sometimes Eeyore, wowsy woo woo from Winnie the Pooh. It's hard, and it's just his situation. But it's hard to build a relationship if you're not having a fun time, a professional time, and that's really what we strive to do. We talk about the 3 distinctions, that we don't have categorical exclusivity. How do you say that in a nice way without offending all of the other groups that are already got their heels dug into your market. You just say, hey, it's really cool. The best thing about networking today is we don't have categorical exclusivity. That means your best referral partner is sitting right across the table from you, and he also does something very similar to you, but not exactly what you do. As an insurance broker for the last 20 years, you can't dominate the insurance category. Your best referral sources are insurance agents. It's just plain and simple. If you're an insurance broker, your best referral sources are other insurance brokers. And it's really refreshing to me that we don't have categorical exclusivity, that we don't have an attendance policy. I get flattered every day because before my meeting, I'll have 5 or 6 text messages. Sorry, Mark, I can't make your meeting. You don't have to do that. But it's nice. It's flattering. They want to be here. Lastly, about the relationships. Here's the quick story. Wow. I haven't missed a meeting in like a year and a half. I'm not up every single time. You come to this thing sometimes going, what the hell am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? How much business did I get out of this? Why am I doing this? And sometimes you walk in the door and it's all about you. And then one person shows up and you're hanging out and you're talking to that one person. And then someone comes in the door that hasn't seen someone in a long time. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see you. And they hug and they're talking. And literally this happened at the holidays because everybody's stressed out. I'm pulling back and I look at these two. They're the only two that came to my meeting at the beginning. They're very beginning of the meeting. And they're hugging, they're embracing, they're talking about the holidays. And here I was whining to myself about why am I doing this? It really is, to go back to the servant thing, it is about pulling together, bringing a meeting together where other people can begin to form great relationships, not just business acquaintances. That's what I find, and I don't want to compare. We always end up in this compare thing, but when you go to meetings like the Chamber of Commerce, for instance, it's just all out there. You're meeting business acquaintances, and at Networking Today, I had a buddy of mine say referral partners. These are referral friends. And I really have made a lot of great friends in this organization. And it's really because we show up and we have fun and we have a great location and we make sure that everyone is lifted up. We call everybody by first name, and if somebody comes in late, we applaud them. they get the
Mark.
It's funny. But anyways,
Mark, I'll tell you what, I literally could go on for, like you probably, for another 30 minutes on the point that you made, that I can only, look, man, I wish I was sitting next to each and every one of you on the call, because I would want to see your reaction when Mark said that it is about others. I mean, I could stay there, Mark, all day long, and you and I could have talked earlier this week about that literally for an hour, because it is a passion of mine. It is not just about you, right? It is about the relationships that we are facilitating in the community for others. That's powerful.
Yeah.
But here's one of the things I want to ask you. Could you just tell everybody, because I do get feedback of people saying, oh, for me to be creative and for me to do anything unique, I'm spending 2 or 3 hours. It's like a whole nother job at Networking Today. So because you do a lot of creative slides and different things. And by the way, I guess I have a couple of questions. Number one, how much time do you spend actually creating the creative stuff you do, if you have an actual average time? And number two, if somebody wanted to see your slide deck, they want to see whether you use Google Slides or PowerPoint, would you mind if people emailed you and said, hey, would you share your PowerPoint with me, or would you share your Google Slides with me? So 2 questions. Number one, how much time does it take? Number two, would you mind if people emailed you asking for that?
Well, the creative license to get a hold of my slides is kind of pricey. The licensing is really big. We'll have to. Never mind.
Yes.
No, yes. I get people that say that all the time. They want to get a hold of the slides, and that's okay. It's easier to modify a slideshow that's already put together than to create a new one. How much time do I spend? I do have a big background in marketing, and I'm a Microsoft Power user, so I do know how to use the software. And I'm a thief. I mean, all the images in the world are on the internet. If I want to say Happy Valentine's Day, I type in Happy Valentine's Day and click images. Now, some of those things you have to watch. You don't want to pull Happy Valentine's Day, the AT&T logo.
Right.
But you know, but Happy Valentine's Day is like Happy Birthday. You can't, it's like the word coffee. You can't copyright it. It's everybody. There are a zillion images.
You say you're putting in weekly?
20 minutes. I'm serious. It's not even a half hour. It's not even a half hour. Everything is on. I do it in the morning. I get up at 6, and I have coffee at 5:30. By 6:15, I work on the slides. I leave to take my kids to school at 6:45, and then I come back and throw in a tie and come to the meeting.
Mark, thank you. We're pressed up against the clock. Any final 1 minute, 60-second thoughts from you?
No, I'm flattered that you asked me to come on. I'm excited to be a Networking Today leader. We have 11 meetings now in our market. There's nearly 100 members. We're coming up on our 2-year anniversary. The thing that you pump when you have more than one meeting is that you don't get just one meeting, you get them all. Whoever talks to the most people wins. I would share that, to not do comparisons during your meeting about other groups. Your group is not, they can't compare to you. You're the premier group, not them. You're just, you do things different, and then once you say you do things different, do them differently. Don't do the whole thing, that they're doing. And then just have fun. Yeah. If you can have fun, and ask people to join, that's a big one. I didn't ask people to join in the beginning. And so make sure you're asking people to join. That's all I got.
So guys, we will, Mark, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and remute everybody's lines just for, for smoothness of the call. But Mark, thank you so very much. Now guys, we are almost finished. I always finish early, but I can only hope and pray that you have taken away nuggets of gold, networking gold, like networking ATM machine from what Mark has said today. When I was talking to Mark, I was just so amazingly reminded at how creative that he has been. Now, again, you heard Mark, it's all complementary to Networking Today's color scheme. It's complementary to our logo. He doesn't manipulate our logo, and we don't want you guys to do that, but we want you to be creative. And you heard him say several times, have fun. Listen, I could absolutely spend another 6 calls on the value that Mark shared today. He mentioned referring to yourself as the premier meeting. To call yourself the premier meeting is not insulting the other 10 in your market if you have multiple meetings in your market, or other Networking Today meetings, or even our so-called competitors. If you have a BNI chapter up the road and you're calling yourself the premier, it doesn't mean that they don't think they're the premier as well for you to say you're the premier. So be the premier, be what it is you want to be that makes your meeting you. And I hope I don't know how to communicate it better than what Mark did. And so I should probably not try, but I just hope it resonated with you. Many of you are asking for Mark's email address. Don't worry, I'll get it out there. And also, I think we need to start using the Facebook forum a little bit more. We have a Facebook group page for meeting leaders, and we can share ideas and slides and images and ideas and things like that on the Facebook group. I'll make sure to mention that again, and even talk a little bit about it in the on the next call. But guys, listen, it's out there. I don't use it enough. Okay, but I'm just so busy. But it's a forum that we can all go to and use and help one another for those of us that have the availability to do it. But Mark, again, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Great feedback today. Wonderful feedback. And advice to help all of us, I know, make a better meeting. I want to suggest this book. Some of you heard me suggest this on the last call, but you did not act on it. So I'm reminding you, those of you that are new to today's call, this book, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster from Darren Hardy is one of the best books you can read, not only for your meeting, but for your business. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to take a look at this book, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, Why Now is the Time to Join the Ride by Darren Hardy. It's a very, very good book. I promise you this, if you read it, I promise you, I believe in the deepest, darkest part of my heart, way down deep in the valley, that you will walk away with a tremendous amount of value, ideas, and things, not only for your business, but also for your networking meeting. I genuinely believe that. All right. So get that book. All right. Real quick, we're wrapping up. Next call is February the 19th, 2019. How about that? The 19th, 2019. That's cool. Make sure that all of your information is correct on the website, in the app, and on Facebook. And for those of you that you're identifying something that is not correct, go to the Meeting Leader Resources page, submit that button, let us know what it is that needs to be updated. You know, we've got a lot of meetings and a lot of new meetings, and so we don't want to have any of you have bad information or wrong information out there. And I'm trusting you that you will simply go to your page and then let us know. Okay, we're trying our best to make sure everything's right in every place, but you also help us by making sure that your information is right. Don't get mad if it's not. Just submit a request, and we'll work to get it corrected. All right. Thanks for all you do. I'm going to unmute the lines. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Those of you that got to fly, have a wonderful couple of weeks. I'll see you back here on the 19th. Those of you sticking around, I'll unmute the lines, and I'm going to stop the recording and answer questions, or, you know, we can open it up for comments either way. So let me go ahead.